The only cheat I can do on my diet is this show.
Okay.
That's the only cheat.
So just so you guys know, we're just prognosticating here in the future that when we record this show after this week, Steven is going to be upset and really eager to taste his alcohol.
Like, give me sugar. Hello, and welcome everyone to episode 48 of Mashup. This is the best bourbon conversation you are going to hear all week long. We're your hosts, Michael, Anthony, and Steven. Hello, my good sir.
Oh my God, I'm freaking out here. What the heck's that intro?
New year, new intro. Try, maybe, I don't know.
I like that. That's
So, continuing our new year,
yes.
I have a little New Year's resolution. I guess we'll go ahead and share ours.
Okay.
So mine, I hate these normally, but mine, speaking of hating, mine's the most cliche one you can do.
Oh gosh, here we go.
I'm going to lose weight.
Oh
I
gosh.
know, boring.
Are you going to join a gym?
I already go to the gym.
I know you do.
The problem is my terrible sweet tooth. So we're going to do this. We're actually going to do a diet.
Okay.
It's called Whole30, which I think is just, no alcohol, no sugars, no artificial.
Oh, so you mean no fun?
Yeah, no fun.
Okay.
And I'm probably going to be grumpy for the first 2 weeks. And with a headache, probably.
Yeah, headache.
So,
grumpy.
but I've seen the results because my neighbors across the street do it every January to kind of cleanse.
Mm-hmm.
And I can see a huge visual difference in them.
Oh yeah, you're checking your neighbors out?
No, just it's both of them.
Just kidding.
You can visually see they dieted. And
No,
then
I know what you
my
mean.
neighbors down the street, they do a different one.
Uh-huh.
And you visually can see them. So I think we're going to join. So we had the only way we're going to do this successfully is if someone prepares our food for us.
Okay.
So we had to do the whole like mail order food company. So we found one that does what we want. And so we went ahead and ordered our first week's meal prep. So I know it's boring and cliche, but that's going to be our first one.
Well, listen, I talked about in a previous episode about how we got this potential bet between my brothers and I and my dad to lose weight.
Yep.
And so I'm right there with you. I'd like to take a little bit of a different take on my New Year's resolution.
Take away.
So it's not going to be a traditional one like you're talking about. Naturally, I want to lose weight. I want to be healthier, continue to gain weight, right? But I also think that if I had one New Year's resolution, it would be this. It would be one day out of the week, or maybe that's a little too ambitious, maybe twice out of the month. I want to turn my house into like a speakeasy, right? And I just want to have a whole bunch of people over, like the bourbon community, the people that I chat with on, different messages on Facebook, people I've met that I've run deals with, people's houses I've been to. I want to have all these people over twice a month for a speakeasy night, and it's like, no kids. If you don't want to drink bourbon, you get the hell out, right? We're just going to have bourbon drinkers. They want to talk bourbon. They want to talk about life. They want to have a good time twice a month.
What we do?
What?
We get ourselves a kerosene heater for your garage.
Okay.
We put a bunch of chairs out there, put a table, some food, some bottles. Everyone brings a bottle.
There you go.
And we just have ourselves a good evening.
I think that sounds like the best resolution of 2022 I've ever heard.
What's above your garage?
There's actually a room above my garage.
Well, man, is there any kids' rooms?
No.
Oh, so if we were, per se, a little loud.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't bother anybody. It would just bother my wife because she'd probably be up there in the home office working. So, yeah.
I like this idea.
I know, especially because now we bother my wife, too. It's a perfect idea.
Yeah, the only cheat I can do on my diet is this show.
Okay.
That's the only cheat.
Yeah. So just so you guys know, we're just prognosticating here in the future that when we record this show after this week, Steven is going to be upset and really eager to taste his alcohol.
Like, give me sugar. Give me alcohol.
Guys are going to come down here like, I haven't eaten anything for 36 hours, but I'm going to taste this bottle.
Well, for this week, we have a bottle of Booker's Uncut, Unfiltered Small Batch Bourbon.
Oh, yeah. You've definitely seen this bottle everywhere. You've seen this bottle for, at least since 1987, possibly. So we got Booker's Small Batch Bourbon here today, and the distillery is Jim Beam Distillery, of course, Beam Suntory. The bottle date is 2021, and the ABV is 62.2% alcohol. Proof is 124.4. The age is 6.5 years. We rounded here, but if we look right at the bottle, it says, we have to do this for the sake of the batch. It says it is 6 years, 6 months, and 12 days. Very specific old. The mash bill is 77% corn.
That's almost 6.5 and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's so 77% corn, 13% rye, and 10% malted barley. And the MSRP on this guy is $100.
Triple digits.
There you go. Balling over here.
Right off the bat, there's no dispute that this will catch your eye on the shelf. It comes in a wooden box with a plexiglass front on it.
And that's embossed in like gold.
Right. Just the fact that the wooden box is going to catch your eye on the shelves.
Yeah. And it says Booker's really nicely. It almost like is charred in there on the side.
On the side.
Yeah.
Branded.
Branded. That's it. I said charred, branded. Yeah.
Yeah, the box is nice. It's stained. The actual bottle itself, it has black wax that's covering a ribbon. The label's pretty. It's pretty basic. It's got some cursive writing on it. It's got like a little ticket that kind of gives you the gives you all the stats on it. With the that's where we got the 12 days, 12 additional days. It's been marinating in the barrel. Does it have any other information about it?
Well, it has this little card with it. Did you see this card?
Wow, that's not just a card.
Yeah, it's a card with
a small
like
book.
Probably like 6-point font, maybe.
Yeah, that's
it's
small.
tiny font. Like honestly, I have my glasses on, but I had a hard time. So I'll just tell you guys this: it comes with a batch story, and so I don't remember this previously. I had a bottle of Booker's a long time ago, but this one says that this is the 4th release of Booker's in 2021. It's called the No Strangers Batch, and it celebrates a genuine social nature of my dad, Booker No. Of course, so if you guys don't know, Booker No is the father of the current master distiller, Fred No, and it just says that he can turn a stranger into a friend for life in no time. And so this is supposed to be to honor him and talk about the fact that he always didn't see people as strangers, saw them as friends, trying to make people feel at home. And it says, like we say at the distillery, come as friends, leave as family. And so this batch, specifically, this 4th batch and final batch of 2021 is stressing this inviting nature.
That's a lot of information on there.
Yeah, did you see the back of it? It has notes from the distiller of how much is in the blend from different parts of the warehouses and stuff.
And what floor. That's very detailed.
Yeah, very specific.
Yeah. So this batch has 3% from the 2nd floor of 9-story warehouse H, 27 of 5th floor of 9-story warehouse D, 39% from floor 6 of 9-story warehouse J.
I knew it.
And 31% of the 5th floor of 7-story warehouse Q. So that's your exact makeup of this bottle.
Yeah, so those of you out there that seek information or want to know exactly what's going on with what's in the bottle, I think this might be, even though it's a little ridiculous, one of the most complete accounts of exactly what it is that you're drinking in this bottle.
I do like how they have what the max height of the warehouse is to let you know like what percentage that floor is on. Because I think of most of the rickhouses are what, 5-6 floors?
Yeah, there's a lot of, it varies.
Yeah, well, that's in my head. That's what I have. But some of these are 9 stories tall. My goodness, that's the biggest in buildings in downtowns.
Yeah.
And so like a 5th floor would only be about halfway up there.
Yeah.
So that's kind of good to know that you're not getting like the extreme of the extreme. You're just kind of getting the middle of the row extremes.
There you go. So I think in terms of Jim Beam products, Booker's probably has one of the most consistent representations. And what I mean by that is I can remember getting a bottle of this when I first moved to Kentucky, again, circa 2011, 2012. And being that this has been produced since 1987, there's really not been a whole lot of variation in terms of the way it looks and the way it's packaged. They've updated some things and changed some things, but it's always come in a wooden box with this plexiglass shield, looking very similar to the way it did back then, looking now. So in an age where Beam is changing everything, I think they've changed the Knob Creek bottle shape, the label, like 19 times in the last 4 years. Booker stays consistent.
Yeah, this is the only representation I know of this product, so that is for sure.
Yeah, no doubt.
Oh, should we go for our first notes of this product?
That's a heavy, heavy nose. And when I say heavy, I mean like heavy with there's alcohol and a lot of things going on here.
A lot of wood.
A lot of wood.
You called this out earlier, and I'm finally experiencing it, but there's definitely peanut butter in this.
Yeah, it's peanut something. I'm trying to put my finger on it. I say peanut butter, but it's like it has like a very strong dark chocolate peanut butter confectionery note, which is like, you want to, this is going to sound weird, but you can chew on the smell, if that makes sense.
I don't know how to describe it. You're exactly right. The smell is very dense. Mm-hmm. And it's just a lot of like dark, I say dark notes. I mean, you got the wood. You're talking all sorts of, heavy food items.
Yep.
Like you said, you can chew on this because of the density of it.
I will say this. If you're nosing this, make sure you keep your mouth open, because if you don't and you're just nosing with your mouth closed, you might get the ethanol, might burn your nose out. Got to have somewhere for it to go.
You want to go for first taste?
Yeah.
Okay, the bottle does not lie. This is definitely uncut and unfiltered at 124 proof.
Yeah, you fill this one all the way down. I'm experiencing it right now, even though I just drank it.
I'm not sure anything in the nose is coming through in the palate.
Yeah, I'd agree with that,
because it's uncut, which is fine, and the proof is fine, but it's just, it bites you.
It does. It does come up. It's let's put it this way: we don't talk enough on this podcast about tasting barrel strength bourbon, and we haven't tasted, to our credit, a whole bunch of them. If we've had them, here and there with friends, and some we have at home, but this is in a league of its own. You're not going to get many bourbons that cross that 120 proof threshold, and when they do, you don't know what the heck you're drinking. And so, I will say this: I get some vanilla. The peanut does travel over for me. I'm not really sure what it is. If it's, again, like peanut brownie, I do get some chocolate taste. I get a lot of heat, so it's like a sharp oak. And
I get a lot of heat.
Yeah, I'm seeing you get that heat over there. You should. We need the facial expressions, because Steven's got a good palate. I think he would tell me he doesn't, but I think he's got a good palate. And I think the fact that tasting Booker's is another type of thing to get used to, is the way to put it. So the color of this too is not like, it's pretty dark. I think it's darker than some of the other barrel strength stuff we've tried. But in terms of the color, legs, finish, that kind of stuff, it's got a good finish. It does have the Kentucky hug.
Yeah, I could definitely see it's for 6 years it is pretty. I guess it's because it's unfiltered. Mm-hmm. It's definitely darker than I would expect, and there's some floaters in there, so that's good. Some nice fats in there.
There you go. And you know what they say? Do you know why?
What did they say?
Do you know why Booker's is between 6 and 8 years old? Did you know that?
I have nothing.
It's because Booker said that was the appropriate age for a bourbon.
6.5 years and six and a half.
6 to 8. 6 to 8.
Okay.
And so most Bookers will be bottled at that age, because that's what the family calls for.
Okay.
Yeah. What's really interesting to me is this is the first time I've had Bookers in quite a while. Again, I know we talked in a previous episode about Noah's Mill. I talked about trying that one out early and not really revisiting it much. I can remember my first experience. It looks like the experience you're having right now, Stephen. Mm-hmm. The first time I tried Booker's, like I said, probably like 2011 to 13, sometime in there. And I just remember drinking it and not being able to tolerate it, because it was just on a whole nother level compared to anything I had drank before. It just like burned my entire nose and mouth, to the point where I was like, I don't know if I like this, if what the heck is going on here. But I remember thinking like, wow, this is intriguing. I just don't know how I can drink it. It took me a long time to drink the first bottle of Booker's that I had. I mean, people might make fun of me about that, but it just was so intense that I don't know.
So you talked about how we have to drink this a little differently because it's of the proof.
Yeah.
Like how is the, and not the correct, but how is the way that you would drink it with, it being such a higher proof?
If I
bourbon.
can take myself back to that time, mm-hmm. I think what I did was I drank it over an ice ball so that it could melt.
Try to mellow it.
Yeah, to mellow it and to let it like kind of, to taste it how it develops.
Let it open up.
Yes.
Okay.
And so even though we advocate tasting the whiskey neat and, at room temperature and stuff like that, I actually think maybe the proper way to enjoy this Booker's is over an ice ball, because it's still, to this day, even though it's been years since I've had it, it still packs a punch, man.
Would that open up some of what we're nosing into the palate, with the 5 drops or so of water into the cup and letting it open up?
I think it might. I know that I did that a lot with higher proof whiskey when I first started drinking. I would always add like a couple drops first, then I'd add more water. And of course, every time you add water or you have ice or anything, you're bringing the proof down as it melts or as you add to it. So it's going to change the flavor. It's going to bring out different notes. And I think that, I know there might be some people out there that are really big Booker's fans, but this is just intense. I think it definitely needs something to help it develop.
Yeah. Every drink's a bite.
So did you know that Jim Beam is now doing a barreled and boxed program?
What is a barreled and boxed program?
So back when the laws changed and the distillers could start doing more shipping and stuff like that here in the Commonwealth of Kentucky.
For those that don't know, for the longest time we could not, I think until recently, we could not have any sort of mail order liquor or alcohol, period.
Yeah.
Come to the house.
Yeah.
It's so funny because of our state.
Oh, I know. and so you couldn't get anything to your door, and then also the distilleries had to still go through distributors and stuff like that to keep stuff.
Oh, yeah, the 6 distributors or whatever in the state that kind of had the monopoly on, and everything had to go through them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, now that stuff's changing, and so 2 of the first distilleries, actually Maker's Mark and Jim Beam, actually are doing these programs where you basically sign up and you prepay, and then they will ship you 2 bottles to your door. And so I actually signed up for the Jim Beam Barreled and Boxed program for the fall, and it was Little Book Chapter 1, which had not been, I guess they held some of it back because that released like 5 years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you got Little Book Chapter 1, and I think it was Chapter 5, which came in the first box. But then the box for right now that shipped like in December was a Basil Hayden 10-year and a Knob Creek 15-year. And so I already had the Knob Creek. I know the Basil Hayden's like sitting on the shelves. I feel kind of bad because for everything they did good for the first inaugural release, first year, first quarter and everything, I was really excited about it, but I quickly canceled when I saw it was coming in my next box. And I hope to re-up, but I think for that to be successful, they're really going to have to deliver something that isn't something that you can get on the shelves. It's got to be exclusive. And like even for the Little Book, they had like special stickers, the sets were hand numbered and things like that. I think they try to continue that with the 15-year and the Basil Hayden's, but how much different can it be? I mean, the 15-year is everywhere here. You can get it in most places, and the Basil Hayden 10-year, I've seen it everywhere now. It's there's pallets of it. And so why would I pay to have that shipped to my door in Kentucky for an inflated price when I can get it probably for the same or less? And
and I'm sure that Basil 10-year is still 80 proof.
I think it is. Yeah, of course.
There's no interest there.
Yeah. But still, though, I mean, it's a cool thing. Like, I really appreciate the packaging and the idea and everything else. And so they're definitely doing some things to watch out for.
And especially the first go around, you don't have to waste time, hunting.
Yeah.
If you can just do that. It's the same with like the Makers. They had that whole where they give you the releases, even though they're pretty easy to get the week of the release.
Yeah.
Around here. That's cool for, people outside the area or people that don't have a store they can go get to.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think for people nationally, it's a bigger deal than maybe we're making it out to be here in Kentucky, but I know a lot of fans out there, so it's
maybe a Knob Creek 15 is hard to get somewhere.
It probably is, and that's probably how it's successful. So I can't make fun of it just on the face of it, just because we're here and we're blessed with them taking care of the state.
Mm-hmm. So Anthony, would you pass, try, or buy on the Booker's Uncut, Unfiltered small batch bourbon?
This is a difficult decision for me because I know Booker's is something that a lot of people look forward to. They buy all 4 batches. They talk about the best one of the year. I listened to some of the internet chatter before this. I read one review that somebody said this is the best batch of the year. I read another review that said, I just bought my first bottle of Booker's. It's batch 4, the last one of 2021, and I'm never buying another bottle again. And so
those are complete opposites.
Yeah, complete opposites. I am going to be a very, very solid try again. I'm really hesitant to say buy, mostly because of the price. I mean, I think what they've done with the price of this, and again, no disrespect to Jim Beam, the family traditions here, the fact that Booker No was a mountain of a man and actually used his arm to just chop down trees and barrel his own bourbon. I made it up a little bit, but that's, if you read the stuff, that's what makes it sound like. So everything that goes into this bourbon makes me want to like it. The family stories, everything about the Beam No family, and I just I'm really solidly a try. I can't get past the fact that I've had other whiskeys at 120 proof that drink so much smoother than this.
Right.
But that's where I'm at right now.
Before I didn't know I was going to be a pass or a try on this, just because it doesn't really drink smooth. It's a harsh bite. But through our conversation, I think I want to be a try, but have a dropper nearby to let it open up. I think I would go at this again with adding a little bit of water to it, and seeing if I can get different notes and different palate out of it. That could be enjoyable. So I think I'll be a try on this. I enjoyed the nose after it opened up.
Yeah.
But the palate had a bite.
Yeah, one thing I have to say is it's probably not easy to get a bourbon to taste the way this bourbon tastes. Like with the chocolates and peanut butters and other kind of weird dessert notes that you wouldn't necessarily get out of a barrel strength bourbon. But I'm right there with you, man. I want to see more out of it. I mean, and at the end of the day, too.
The price is also a huge thing. I mean, $100.
Well, when I first...
And it drinks hard.
Yeah, when I first moved here, I think Booker's was $50 a bottle. They're going to have variation between batches because they're all coming from different places. But I watched the price rise, and now it's at a price where, like, honestly, when I bought this, true story, I bought it from a Kroger liquor store, and I happened to be walking in when they were delivering the product. And so they set the case down. I think they got 2 cases because it is a little bit, it's not like completely, you can get it anywhere. Once it sells out, it's gone. It sells out pretty quickly here. The guy who was unloading the liquor, so the driver was like, I haven't had Booker's in quite a while, man. He's like, I think the last time I had one was around 2009, 10. I was like, oh, yeah. I was like, mine was, a little bit after that. And he goes, I can't believe the pricing out now, man. He goes, how much you pay for that? I told him, I said, after tax, it was about $100. And he was like, I can't believe that. That's nuts. He's like, I wonder how much that batch that I had was worth. And I said, I don't know. But this is a bourbon that when they moved that price to $100, I don't think it made a lot of people happy.
I can see. I can't imagine the price of lumber really adjusted the price that much.
Yeah.
For that box.
It's a box. It's all about the glass and the box cost these days, right? But I don't know. I think it's a little bit too much. I think that the price range for this one, if it were like $75, I think that's probably better off right where it should be.
And with that, thanks for listening to this week's edition. Please like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Mashup KY. Also, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. Until next time, keep it neat.